Baby, it's a full on head to head. Let's go, buckle up, buttercup. Let's get down, honey. And I am so here for it. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to pull my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for American Horror Story Apocalypse. This is season 8, episode 4. Like I said, it is full on, and I'm here for it. The first thing is first we see there's like a whole little scene where we get some backstory on Michael Langdon and Ms. Mead, growing up and her teaching them to pray to Satan and they just had a whole twisted life, and she was telling them about how she murdered her first 3 husbands, and just a mess, just a whole damn mess. And then at one point we see as he's discussing things, and he's basically bringing her up to speed on different things that she didn't remember about him growing up. And he gets this like I guess a feeling of another powerful presence because the witches are waking up. So he gets this whole thing, and then he pops up and turns around, and then him and Myrtle Snow have a couple of words back and forth, baby. And that damn Myrtle Snow said, I always thought the world would end with fire and ice, honey, not witches and warlocks. I said, oh no, she didn't. Read his ass, honey. Because that's truly an insult. It is an insult for someone to literally refer to the Antichrist as a warlock. That ain't nothing but old male witch, honey. Oh, damn warlock, honey. That was an insult. I said, girl, Miss Myrtle, you better let him have it, honey. And they were having there, because that's what I said, do you think that who's going to stop being child? They were like, we are, honey, all of us are, y'all. I said, child, let's get it, honey. Let's get it. So we go from there. We go back literally 3 years prior, before the bomb. And baby, we see Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania's own Billy Porter. Billy Porter is playing a teacher down to the all boys, the little warlock school, honey. I said, oh, this is going to be good. I love Billy. Billy Porter. First of all, not just Billy Porter, but all of the teachers down to the boys' school, clean. Baby, their costuming, they had some bad cloaks and capes and these suits and the fit and the custom tailoring on these suits. I said, Ryan, you better get it. You better get it. I said, come on. But the suit that Billy Porter had on, cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. I said, oh, Billy, you better let him have it. But anyway, so Billy Porter's a teacher. And he's basically teaching the boys to, like the X-Men. He's teaching them how to work their powers. Then we learn about the Alpha. They've been literally sitting around waiting because they're like 3rd level. All of them, all the teachers are like 3rd level or 2 and 3 level warlocks. And a 4th level warlock is what they have been actually looking for, which is what the Alpha is, which is the 4th level warlock would be the Alpha. He is the male version of the Supreme. Okay, so he would be that. And the thing about him is if he actually exists, he would be the most powerful of everything. One, because he's male. Male, going to be more powerful anyway. he would outpower Cordelia as well. Now, what we found out later on, when they end up calling upon the witches, but I'm gonna get to that in a minute. You find out Cordelia and Myrtle and Madison, they're the alpha doesn't even exist. That doesn't even exist. That's nothing but a myth. It doesn't exist because they said there is no male that would ever actually be able to be that powerful, because the testosterone in a male body stops them from being able to tap into another part of themselves that a woman can tap into. So it doesn't really exist. It is just a myth. So all of that's going on. Well, they have their whole little thing going on. And they're always watching, just like Charles Xavier. So here, Ariel, his name is Ariel, who is actually the lead, the like the CFO of the school. He has actually found this tape of Michael Langdon, and he's like a teenager, and he's been put in jail for something. And there's a cop being really rough with him, being really, really mean with him. And the next thing you know, you see him end up like the cop beat him down and kicked him and beat him and knocked him on the floor and all of that. And he ends up literally making him stick to the ceiling. And then you see his arms flip down and his feet flip up, like he cracked. His feet cracked like in the middle of the shin. And then he just slammed him to the ground. And then he's like, somebody help me, honey. And then you see his head blow up. And Michael's just on the floor looking. He's all covered in blood. Now, let me tell you how he actually got to the interrogation room. He got accused of sticking 5 knives into a man who supposedly did something to his mother, which was Miss Mead. What ended up happening, Miss Mead, her crazy ass, she don't want to go. They down at the regular butcher shop. She wants to buy a goat head to use for her satanic rituals. And the man wouldn't sell it to her. So the man was like, child, if you don't get on out of here, ain't nobody selling you that. Get your ass on out of here. So she's like, where's your manager? I'm going to talk to your manager. So she goes looking for the manager. And Michael is standing there and he said, you're rude. Don't you ever speak to her like that again. The man going to say, boy, ain't nobody think about you or that batshit crazy bitch with her voodoo bullshit. Baby, he gave, honey, and them knives gave him to carry a thing. Choo, 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 choo. 5 knives, honey, tore his ass up. So that's how he actually ended up in the jail. Now, Ariel and the guys, they didn't know nothing about all this. So they got half of the story. Baby, they done went down to the jail. Ariel goes down to the jail and gets Michael Langdon out. Now, all along, there's one teacher who says, I don't like this. I don't believe that this person is the alpha. I get bad vibes. I just don't think so. I just think, especially after watching that, I think there is a maleficence of his power. There's a very dark something to the way he operates. I don't, And they're like, no, what you're seeing is fear and this, that. He kept on. Anyway, they go and get Michael. Ariel, when Ariel gets him out of the jail, there's a cop that says, hey, he can't leave. He says, we're leaving. And he took and made him stick to the wall, and he's walking out. As he walks out, Michael takes and makes the man's neck twist. See what I mean? I said, this is the best. And Mrs. Mead actually sees Michael walking away with Ariel and said, that boy is going to make me proud one day. So the other teacher is exactly right. He is exactly right. You done literally took a snake and putting the snake inside the tank with some mice, honey. But go on. So this was the thing. This is the thing. Ariel is a power-hungry freak, and we all know somebody like that. They're hungry. They power Power is just something that they just are so stuck into, and they want to possess it, even if it's indirectly. And that's a problem. That's a problem because they can't see the forest through the trees. And so they started like a month and a half after Michael was there. They were testing him on different things. And all along, this one teacher just kept saying no, no, no. And he's like, he's doing too much. Like they would tell him, go find a book. Go find. We want you to find where we hid this specific book. Well, he done read their mind and know what the book is. They told them. They ain't even told them what the book is. And instead of walking around and going to go find it, maybe he goes stick his hand in the mirror and pulls it out the mirror. I said, and they're getting all impressed with him. And the other teacher kept saying, he doesn't listen to instructions and he's doing too much. Anybody asked him to do all that. He's doing too much. They still ain't listening, still ain't listening, still ain't listening. And like I said, Ariel, power hungry. He is so consumed with overpowering the witches and wanting to be more powerful than the witches. I said, okay. So they contact the witches, bring them in for a whole council meeting. They want him to go through the seven rituals. Cordelia said, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, she said, because I don't believe that the alpha actually even exists. And I lost one student who actually, went through the whole thing, which was Madison. Um, I lost one. And I'm sorry, it was Myrtle, Cordelia, and I can't think of the other girl. So it's not Madison. Because Madison's in hell, actually. She's in her own specific hell. But Madison died going through the seven rituals, and she wasn't ready. She wasn't actually ready for it. One of them killed her. So she said, I'm not doing that. Then they got to talking smack to her about um, Queenie. And, you know, saying, she said the two things that I haven't done well since I've been a Supreme was I wasn't able to rescue Queenie. Queenie was stuck at the Cortez, at Hotel Cortez. She died. Y'all remember Queenie died in Hotel Cortez, and her soul is stuck there. And Cordelia went to get her, and all her spells and conjures, she could not get her out. She couldn't get her out. So they ran that to her and basically told her, I think you just don't want to do the test because you're afraid to find out that the alpha actually exists and he's going to be more powerful than you, and you got a problem with it. It had a whole male female chauvinistic thing going on with it. I don't know if y'all caught that, but I did. I was like, oh. So that's what they were giving her, telling her. She's like, I wouldn't care what you all said. I'm not doing that. I gave you what my reasons are, and the alpha doesn't exist. I don't know what that boy is you got, but it doesn't exist. And I'm not killing a student trying to prove some point. I'm not doing it. So that was that. Now back at the coven, they actually have Mallory at the coven, and they have their eyes on Mallory because Mallory has a lot of powers, and they're watching her because her bloodline. She said her bloodline actually stretches all the way back to Salem. So there is definitely something special about Mallory, and I'm sure we'll see some more about that later on. And so, in the midst of all of this going on, they call for the car so they can leave. Um, Michael is listening to all of this. Michael takes his ass to the Cortez, gets Queenie out of the Cortez. Queenie didn't even want to go with him at first, and she was in there with the man. I can't think of his name. The crazy one that used to own the Cortez that was doing all that motherfucking problems down there. But he's in there, And he told Queenie, "You ain't got another choice. You gotta go, child. You gotta go with him." And I was like, "Child, everybody noticed something that your Michael ain't." So Queenie ended up getting out. Then he went to hell and got Madison. And as we're sitting there, and the witches are leaving, when they leave out of the boys' home, they walk out into the light, baby, and all you see is Madison, Michael, and Queenie walking up, baby. Cordelia looks, baby, and faints and just falls straight out on the ground. I said, Lord have mercy, it's going to be a problem. And that's where we actually left off at. This was, again, I know I said it last week, this was an excellent episode. This was really good, baby. It's like I said, buckle up, Buttercup. We are getting ready to get Child Good versus Evil, honey. Let's go. Let's go. I love this kind of chat. Anyway, I'll catch y'all next week. All right, later.